know what they're talking about. But other than that, you don't generally have the right to have more mums and dads than 20. Because as soon as you hit more than 20, you fly into the ASIC radar and they say you're breaching rules and they'll shut you down.
If they find out.
Bingo.
When they find out.
Other than that, you need to spend 2 years building a managed fund. Learning what to do, get your licensing.
But again, we talked about IMs as well before, so the delineation is that if you are sort of having a informal offer, then all you have to do is an IM, which is for all intents and purposes a marketing document. If you have a formal offer up here, then you've got to have a prospectus, and prospectus is regulated under a whole lot of, legal bullshit stuff, and you really got to make sure that you tick the boxes and whatever not. And quite frankly, this is not for the faint of heart. The difference is, here's 40 pages worth of PowerPoint with about 10 bullets in each. Here's 40 pages worth of A4 tightly spaced on very like 6-point typeface kind of thing. It's like, so it's a huge difference. So down here, it's pretty much it's a very open playground. As Brendan said, you can have 20 investors. You can actually do that every 12 months. So this is called the 20-12 rule. And it's rare that I see anyone that comes even close to kissing the 20 investor limit, because within the 20 that you might engage, and maybe half of them that are actually professional investors, therefore there's only 10. So I can't actually remember ever seeing anyone breaching that rule or being close to breaching it.
And in running your own businesses and what you want to do with your own businesses, don't go down the path of trying to learn this stuff. It's like, I want to become an investor, therefore I'll learn to become an accountant so I can do my own tax. It's counterproductive. Yep.
Very true, yes. So back into, thank you. When is the right time to get investment? When does the business become investor ready? So does anyone have a clear answer in their mind as to when you will be investor ready? Sorry?
Yeah.
When you have traction? Yeah, next year? What happens next year? Is there a better number on the year or?
No, it's just the first half of the year is building our user base.
Yeah.
The second half of the year is getting to revenue stage and then learning the ropes, and then we'll decide if we actually want to go for funding, but
understood.
for scale, yeah.
So basically there's some checkpoints along the way to understand when this now is ready to go whole hog. Yes. So traction was, someone said, you said that. What does traction mean? What's the definition of traction?
Real customers.
Revenue customers, yeah, go on.
That your business model is actually working.
Ooh, that's a serious one. What's a business model working?
Good one.
Okay, let's delve a little bit into this. Because being an investor ready, or investment ready, a big proof point is that I have a working business model. So this is again back to, we don't care about the product, we care about have you got a business model that actually makes money. So let's argue that, does any one of you have an online business? This was a rhetorical question, I know some of you have. Yes, so about roughly half in the room, yes. So quite a few have an online business. Okay, so with your online businesses, are any of you either currently doing or planning to buy advertising? Ooh, terrible, you're about to lose a lot of money, that's exciting. Can I sell the advertising to you and take commission along the way? Okay, so has anyone ever heard of ROAS? Okay, half a finger goes up, that's a problem. ROAS is return on advertising spend. If you don't know what your ROAS is, you should not spend the first cent on Google Ads. Please, do not do that. Right? So, ROAS is a very simplistic measure, but it's the first measure you have when you go into online spending. So, if you think about, say, I paid Google $100 for a whole bunch of clicks, right? And from there, so this was our Google cost. And I sold my product, and I sold it for 150, so this is my revenue. And so anyone looks at that and go, oh, that must be good. I'm spending 100, making 150, right? Anyone see the fault in that argument? You're smiling. Why are you smiling? You see the problem?
Yeah, it's not good.
Say what?
It's not good.
No. It's no good because we unfortunately had $75 cost of product and shipping. So we actually only made $75, from which, by the way, wash you should pay staff, electricity and everything else, but we paid $100 to earn 75. Do you see how we're going backwards? Okay. Our growers, or basically a return on advertising spend in terms of revenue, of anything less than 3x is dangerous. Absolutely insanity. Because you're making Google fat, you're making them very happy, or Facebook, or wherever you spend, doesn't matter where, or could be one of the dating platforms you're putting ads on, doesn't matter what it is, depending on the product. But 3x is a good target measure to get started. Now, almost all businesses that we get are below 2x when they come to us, and we go, whoa, that's danger, that's dancing with danger, right? Because it is just really, really, really hard to make serious money on that. So you got to know that ROAS, because this is where you bleed. So again, we do a slight sidetrack here, but let me introduce you to a concept that's called free leads. Anyone heard about that? Does it sound attractive, or do you not care about free leads? Huh? Oh, I have someone's attention down there. Yes. Good. So imagine, does anyone here, is anyone on LinkedIn? Anyone have a LinkedIn? Good. Does any one of you have at least one connection with more than 25,000 connections? Oh yes. Oh yes, we all do. Could you potentially be good friends with that friend that has 25,000 connections? Probably yes. It might require coffee, it might even require whiskey, I don't know, because I don't know your friends. It probably requires a bribe. Do most of the people that we know that have 25,000 connections have them for profit? No. They have them because they love connecting people, right? Now if you got a genius product, now we're back to product, oh my God, yes, a genius product, and they really love your product, do you think they might want to share about your product amongst the 25,000 connections? Yes. What's the cost of that acquisition? 4 cups of coffee, half a bottle of whiskey, doesn't matter, but it's bloody cheap. I can tell you that. Because on the average sell-through rate, we see from 25,000 connections, you will see anywhere between 0.1% and 1% of those would actually buy some shit, i.e. your product. So in other words, the very worst case, you'll sell 25 units. That's worth a couple of bottles of whiskey, isn't it? Do you get my drift? So go back home, count how many acquaintances you have, because they may not be friends yet, that have 20 or even 10,000 connections on LinkedIn, and start buying them coffee. Because it's going to be worthwhile building relationships with them, and it's a lot cheaper than sending all the money to Google. Yes, sir?
Can I just add on to that?
Please.
I work with young kids, 18 and 20, and they're big on selling products, and the way they do that is they play on platforms of Instagram and Facebook, and they're big on going to influencers. We've got 3 million, 4 million followers, and then saying, can you please promote our product to your group, to your connections, and the way they go on, they offer them the 10% cut or affiliate program or whatever it may be. That's the way they're growing their products. I know 2 young guys who did that to 2 influencers, said we'll give you $100 per unit that's sold, and I sent them $1,000 in 30 days. By these guys create a video, that's it. So having those connections and reaching out to those influencers, whether it be on those different platforms that I've said and on myself, is a great way to get your product out there very fast and to get traction as well.
Very good. So these comes in all sorts of shapes, flavors, sizes. A couple of you, I think, are engineers, right? Is that right? Mm-hmm. So do we have engineers, so Engineers Australia, CEA? Are you members of that? Okay, so EA is a membership organisation in Australia for engineers. Last I checked, they've got 93,000 members. So how about you go and schmooze them a little bit and say, hey, we got this amazing product for engineers, and your members are going to be very happy. Doesn't matter whether you sell them chocolate, life insurance, whatever we sell them, but it's something that all engineers love. They would be compelled to potentially share that with their list. Is that going to take potentially a year worth of negotiation and talking and chit-chatting and whatever? Yes, it will, because they're conservative folks, very conservative. But it's 100,000 leads for free that I might even email them, might even put on their website. So leads should be free. And it comes back to getting funded. You know, how does that relate back to getting funded? Is anyone here, and this is going to sound like a very warped question, but think about this very carefully. Are any of you attractive? Does anyone here feel attractive? Yeah, good. Great. A few more hands? No, just, are you attractive? Yeah! I'm not talking about whether you're the most sexy person on the planet, but are you attractive? Yes, hopefully. Because if you don't believe you're attractive, well, guess what? No one else will. Oops. So get language. Now, I'm making a little bit of fun of it here, but it's actually a really serious question. What is even more serious is your business attractive? Because if your business is not attractive as a business, not to somebody or by being something or doing something, but just is the business attractive, then we have a problem. Because if I go to Engineers Australia and say, hey, I've got this amazing business, and they look at the business and go, well, it looks like shit. Are they going to send 100,000 members to my business? No, they won't, because it's not attractive. Right? So attraction could be brand, attraction could be the size of the logo, attraction could be the level of customer service, attraction could be the speed of delivery, attraction could be a gazillion things. It's not a single defined thing. It's just like attraction with humans is a whole lot of different parameters. Does that make sense? But it has to be attractive. It's really important, because if it's not attractive, this thing about getting funded is just short of impossible. Because nobody wants to invest in a business they don't like. Am I making sense yet? And it has a lot to do with this. Attraction is around, do I have a business model that is attractive? Because if I tell you some of the businesses we get coming through the door, we look at it and going, that's, and literally we use the words, well, that's a really attractive business model, because it's like, okay, so you put $1 in here, you get $5 out here, you get $5 out here, you get $5 for the next 5 years. Holy crap, and that was a monthly thing. Ooh, for $1 in? Holy right? It's just like, so these things are not rocket science, and these things are being done right now by other founders and other business owners. So attraction, as strange as it may seem, is really important. And attraction comes back to what Brendan and I talked about before. It's about confidence. Is the business acting confidently? Is it being confident in their thought? G'day. Is you as a representative of the business, are you confident? Without being arrogant, because nobody wants to give money to a dickhead. But you need to be out there and basically pushing yourself forward just a little bit. So when does this business become investment ready? So we're going to have a business model, we're going to have proof that the business model works, and we're going to have metrics around the business model that we can back up, that we know those metrics work. In other words, we're going to make more money than we spend. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, that was it. Oops. A business, in basic terms, is investment ready. Excuse me. Is investment ready when we have a model, we've proven the model, and we can show the path to profits. It does not mean we're profitable right now, but we can show that if we keep doing this and we can scale what we're currently doing, not doing something else, but we're already doing and we've proven it works, In other words, we spend $3 with Google, we make $12 in sales. Well, that's A, very attractive. B, if I keep scaling this up, instead of doing 100 units a month, I do 100 units a week, I do 100 units a day. Oh, now we're actually making real money. Do you see how that goes? That's just scalability. And this is the next point. Is this thing scalable? So what does scalability mean? Anyone who wants to venture a guess? Yeah.
Growing into multiple cities or overseas, so basically bigger markets, going further than your existing market.
Okay, so cities. Anyone other example of
Countries.
scalability? Sorry?
It's about creating different, I guess, business revenue opportunities to do the same.
So revenue streams? Yeah.
Growth rate of your revenue is larger than the growth rate of your expenses.
Uh-huh. So revenue outstrips expenses in growth rate. Yep, because otherwise we go bust.
If you have to spend $1 and you've got
Yep,
spending $1 forever and
and never get anywhere. Yep.
Market size?
Yeah, there's going to be a market, there's going to be a big enough market that I can scale much larger than I am, otherwise I'll get hamstrung by the size of the market. That makes sense, yeah? Yeah, keep going.
I think the technology, like for example, if it's a technology base, can that technology be scaled sort of into it can grow at a larger scale, yeah. So I don't know how to describe it.
Maybe different use cases in different verticals.
Kind of, yeah. But it should be expanded like
Yeah,
stream knowing. You know how AWS has that stream where it changes capacity just grows. I don't know, sorry, I'm probably not making sense.
so something that goes in multiple directions at the same time, yeah? Max, do you have one?
The business model doesn't break.
That's a big one. Yes, thank you very much. So business model holds. Because what if I've invented, say I'm doing food, and I've got a kitchen out here, and I've got 6 people and they're building sandwiches. Okay, well I now want to scale that to doing 100x number of sandwiches. There's a market for it, I can sell them, that's not a problem. But I can't pick and stuff 600 people out into the kitchen, can I? No. Can I even get 600 people to, in a methodical way, build that many sandwiches in a day? It's like, probably not. So if I don't have a machine that's somehow some kind of sandwich making monster electric gadget widget, no can do. Very important, because I just broke my own business. Ouch, that hurts. And this is actually the beginning of what all of these things, and I'll switch the color for that. The underlying thing for scalability are systems and structures. So systems and structures, policies, procedures, i.e. all the boring shit that we as entrepreneurs don't want to do. The thing